Hi, I'm Anne Marie from Teacher to Teacher Health. In this video, I'd like to share with you one of my favorite tools for getting to know the readers in our classroom. So this book here, Igniting a Passion for Reading by Layne, is a book that has really inspired me, and I want to share with you the title of one of the chapters. Coaches who know their players will win more games. Igniting a passion by knowing your students. So when I read this chapter, I really started to reflect on what are the practices that I have in my classroom that help me do just that, get to know my readers. One of my favorite tools is a reading interview / interest inventory. So that's the tool that I'd like to share with you today. So here's a copy of my reading interview. Now, you may be familiar with using interest inventories, and I've used interest inventories as well. This one is a little bit different because it involves me actually sitting down with my students and having a face-to-face interview with them. So I always like to start my first week of school by sitting down with each individual child and doing an interview with them. Now, even if students are old enough to actually write and complete the answers themselves, I still like it to be a face-to-face oral interview. It's a way for me to sit across from them, just hear what their attitudes are toward reading, find out what their preferences are, because I know that one of my jobs this year is going to be to leave no stone unturned as I try to help them find their home run books, the ones that are going to inspire them to read more and more and more. So I want to know, what are they interested in? What are their hobbies? What's their attitude toward reading overall? Do they go to the library? Do they have a library card? So these are some of the questions that I ask. This is page 1, and then here's page 2. Now, what I don't do with this is simply go through every single question and ask a question, write the answer, ask a question, write the answer. Instead, I use this as a menu for me to pull on so that I can just have a natural conversation with the students. And I let the conversation go wherever the conversation goes. But this just gives me some talking points. So my intention is not to fill out every single question here, but just to use it to guide my information. So I like to have one of these for each of my students. And again, I don't pass this out to them, even if they're capable of completing it on their own. I get way more information by just sitting down for 5 minutes and talking to them. Then I like to keep this in my assessment notebook. And I actually like to have a spot on my conference form where just a little box that says reading interview. And sometimes I'll summarize some notes on here. So a couple different ways that you can use that. But I refer to this often throughout the year as I am trying to help my readers get engaged with reading and just to ignite that passion, like Layne says, igniting a passion for reading. So I hope this is helpful to you, and I hope you're going to start to think about your students as the players in your classroom. You're the coach. And keep that in mind, that coaches who know their players win the most games. If you'd like a copy of my reading interview, I will put a link to the download, and you can download a copy for yourself.